You bougie bitches kill me. And if you don't get it together and drop these macho attitudes, you are never gonna have anybody bringing you anything, anywhere, any place, anytime, ever. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking.
All of you jealous, ugly bitches, can kiss my fabulous, very perfect black ass. And yes, William, today, you're one of those bitches.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Barely Adulting Podcast, where we discuss news, relationships, pop culture, life issues, and so much more. I'm your host, T. Marie. Now, if you have not done so already, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Download the podcast. You already know what to do. Welcome all who are new here. Welcome to the BA family, okay? And thank you for coming back to everyone else. So with that being said, we actually have a very lengthy episode this week. First and foremost, happy Valentine's Day. Hope y'all are enjoying your weekend. If you're in a couple relationship, kudos to you. Shout out to all of y'all. As far as everybody else, us singles folk, I hope that y'all are doing well as well. Don't take it personally. It's okay. It's just a day. Calm down. It might be a little messy today. I ain't gonna lie, because there's gonna be a lot of people being exposed for being in a relationship that was in somebody else's DMs, but we won't get into that too far, right? Okay, so with that being said, morning coffee segment. That's what we usually do. If you're new here, we do a morning coffee segment where we just talk about news or related things. We won't be going into depth with our morning coffee segment today, so I'll just go ahead and put a little bit out there right now because we have a very lengthy episode, and I don't want to keep y'all too long, and I don't want y'all sitting there looking at me like, T, what the F? Like, what's going on? Like, I need to go to work. Like, it's been going too long. So, I won't talk too much on it. All that you need to know is Trump has been acquitted yet again. The only president in history, U.S. history, to be impeached twice. And then acquitted twice. Like, just beat the case both times. Like, that's crazy, right? Y'all can read up on it or watch the news. Like, just turn it on and watch it because it's still going on. This was actually like the last day, so it's still fairly fresh. But outside of that, they are passing a new bill for the stimulus checks. Will be like, I believe they'll be passing out like March 1st or something like that. So if you are a taxpayer, according to CBS News, they're saying that go ahead and file your taxes like ASAP, because that's where they'll be taking out all the information about if you're going to get the stimulus check or not. So with that being said, if you do not go ahead and file before Congress passes the next relief bill, they will only solely rely on the 2019 tax return to collect your next stimulus check, i.e. your third stimulus check if you gotten that. So with that being said, if they're actually looking at your 2019, it's not going to reflect your 2020, which was when the whole economic crisis happened, right? And even if you had a dependent added on for 2020, that won't be reflected either. So go ahead and get your stuff together now. Do not wait like all the other years you've done before. Go ahead and do some adulting stuff and go adult. And just go ahead and file your taxes. That's all I gotta say. File your taxes, all right? So let's go ahead and do our grown folks table talk. Let's get into our conversation because you don't want to miss this at all. Don't take anything to heart. It's a conversation. Get your panties out of bunch, your boxes, whatever. It's just a conversation, all right? I just wanted to let y'all know ahead of time. So let's go ahead and get into it, all right? Hey everyone, and welcome back to this week's episode. We have a very special guest, of course, in the building across Zoom. Whoop, whoop. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Janelle. I always hate introducing myself because I never know what to say. But I guess probably the most glaring thing in my life right now is I'm a student in the Doctor of Physical Therapy program at Governor State. So that's fun. I I also trade a little bit on the side because I don't have a job. So I needed a way to get money legally. And I'm not good at scamming.
Oh.
You know? I'm not good at that. So I had to do something different. Other than that, that's it, y'all. I'm just 26 trying to get through.
Oh, Lord, aren't we all? And I'm not good at scamming either. In the back of my head, I be thinking that I'll be the one that's gonna be made an example out of. So I can't do it because I'm like, this is the time they're gonna be like, no, throw the book at her. Like, hold on, wait, this is my first time. What happened to grace period? Like, please, it was only $5. Like, I don't want them doing that to me. And on top of that, all them people that scamming, for all that other stuff in the beginning of the pandemic, they might. Girl, I'm so mad because I was like, dang, I really wanted them. I really wanted that scam, right? And I missed out. That could have been it, right? But I feel like they're coming after. They're gonna come after.
Because like a couple of months ago, I was like, dang, those people who had applied for that little small business loan as a scam, I ain't really hearing about nobody going to jail for that.
Right.
And they really just came up on some money.
Yeah. And I was mad. I ain't gonna lie. Because I was like, okay, I could have got that. But I did somewhere that they was like, oh, they was checking. But the IRS is slow. Okay. So I just don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
If because I know they don't got that many people on the job because they have too many people that they come and try to bust 17 years later. I wish I would be that person in my 50s or something talking about, oh yeah, that scam that you did when COVID started. Like, no, you are not taking me away. If I'm gone, I'm gone. Leave me alone. I got a whole family. I got a dog family. Okay. I have a lot going on.
I built that family off that money.
Exactly. Okay. That other family that I probably scammed, they're good now. They forgiven. Why don't you forgive? Okay. That's how I'm feeling about all this. And if you don't have to be there, you bogus as hell. That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Period. Exactly. I agree.
So let's go ahead and get on because we're gonna be sitting there just giggling this whole time, right? So this is actually another good friend of mine from way back when. I ain't gonna tell our age because you already know our age. It's okay. But I've known Janelle for years at this point too. And we are also a part of the band, just like my other guest, Danielle. Like we were trumpet section strong, okay?
That section award, you feel me?
Let's go ahead and geek out real quick because we were that thing, okay? I did leave freshman year.
About that freshman year though?
Girl.
Freshman year was strong. Freshman year was strong.
It was strong because your girl was over here in band. We did cheerleading, we did volleyball, we did the clubs. We was You feel me? And then we just dropped.
I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how I was even that active so long ago because time management now.
Oh no. See, I think about that often. I'm like, how was I this time with everything else? Like I perfected time management in high school. I had this club, I had that going on, I could barely write something in my calendar.
Yeah.
Let alone remember a meeting that I have for work. Sorry, y'all. If y'all I'm trying, okay? I don't know what it is. It's a dementia. I ain't gonna claim it, but still, I don't know what it is. But it is what it is.
Man. It's that structure. I realized it. Yep. It's that structure. It's that your mama saying everybody up at 6 a.m.
Right. And still trying to go back to sleep. But they come back up and they're like, get up out the bed and running. And
so you just be forced.
Right. But I want that again. Like if they actually made an alarm that was like, hey, it's your mama. Get up. Didn't I tell you? Or hear the footsteps coming, try to I'm like,
ooh, that's some PTSD right there, hearing them footsteps coming after she done already told you to get up the first time.
You know what? I think we just got onto something. PTSD alarm system. That would be so dope. Like, don't steal our idea either, because that was just real clutch. And if you listening to it, you heard it here first, and I will sue you if I had the money. So it might be years from now, but I
You
will.
know what I'm saying?
It might not be today,
Gotta
it
take
might not
care
be
of it.
tomorrow, right? But it will.
It's gonna happen though.
It's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, who child, Lord Jesus. All right. So our topic for today. Okay. So we're gonna start off with the first question, and we're just gonna ravel it off after that. Okay.
Okay.
So I was scrolling through Facebook, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
know, we're very active on our Facebook accounts where it's just like a lot of, it's kind of like Black Twitter, but it's Black Chicago Facebook. And I love it because at some point Facebook was not, it was like, whatever. But at some point it took like a drastic like turn, twist of events. And it just became hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm on there daily. It's a problem. But I'm on there daily. And I don't know about you, but I be cracking up. Okay.
Facebook, that's a whole nother realm.
Look,
Uh,
look, it's different. It's just different. And if you ain't following the right people, you ain't having
you know,
girl.
I agree.
But I was scrolling through Facebook and I'm in a group, right? And I'm gonna just throw the group out there. It's called Black Millennials Single and Agreed. Now,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a ton of people probably going to look into it after I say that, but it's a Facebook group. And in that group, a question was posed like a couple months ago. And I was like, this is some crazy stuff, but it's a great topic. So I was okay. So this is the question, right? A guy came in there and said, ladies, why exchange the contact if you're not going to communicate? I don't get the smile, flirt, and number exchange, then go ghost. Why not just say, I'm not interested to my face? Ladies, what you think? So, with that being said, of course, you have a lot of people that responded. I had a lot of ladies, and we had a lot of different responses and whatnot about it. And some fellas responded too. I'm gonna just say that. So
I wish I got to see these responses because I know it was juicy.
oh girl, look, when I tell you they got the bookmark quick feature, I just bookmark. Like I gotta come back to this. Like I have to comment just so I can come back and get the other notifications. So this is basically about ghosting and respect and all that other stuff. So what do you think about that question? Why do you exchange the contact if you're not going to communicate? And why do you smile? Do you flirt? Do you exchange the number if you're just going to go ghost at the end of the day?
I feel like it's a valid question to pose.
Okay.
If you're the type of man who I feel approaches women, if we're talking about like in a heterosexual viewpoint,
right.
If you're the type of man that approaches women like respectfully, like you was raised right, and you just feel like, dang, I said, hey, young lady, can I have your number, please?
Look, let's be realistic. Come on now. Ain't no man coming up to you talking about some, hey, young lady. I just want your number. Like you look, if a man came up to you like that, would you respond like, oh my God, yes? No. Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you're that type of man, I guess,
it ain't gonna work. Because if it does, I'm questioning everything.
And that's my thing. I'm like, but that's usually not, at least in my own experience. I don't think, I've definitely had men approach me, trying to be kind, but I've also had a lot of men, especially when I was living in the city, just because it was more opportunities for men to try to quote unquote holler at me, waiting on the bus, waiting on the train, walking somewhere. You don't really do that in the burbs. Like we in the car pretty much all the time in the store
Mm-hmm.
and go back home. So I've definitely had a mixture of both.
Okay.
I've had men who was like being very disrespectful, and then I've had men who were very kind. But I will say this: even when men approach you kindly or with kindness, it still just kind of feel not right, you know? And it has a lot to do with the men who be, kind of crazy. And I think I'm sure a lot of women address that in the post, like, I'm kind of smiling and giving you kind of what you want in hopes that you will leave me alone.
Mm.
Because I've also had it in my experience where I've told a man, I'm good, and I'm not a very like aggressive woman.
Right.
I'm not really gonna show a lot of quote unquote attitude, even though you are totally within your rights to be like, can you leave me alone? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to be bothered, you don't want to be bothered. You totally in your rights to do that. But I never really been that type of person. But at the end of the day, I just feel like you just can't get away from it. I want to tell men something different. I really do, but at the end of the day, I'm giving you my number because even after I politely turned you down, you still tried to push it. So now it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna just get this to you so you can get out of my face and I can get on because you kind of following me now, you know what I'm saying? Or you kind of, it's turning into harassment because I already told you no, and you
Right.
should have just left it alone at that. And sometimes, even when it comes to the kind men, they'll still push it too because they think like, oh, but I'm being nice, so I can still keep asking her. And it's like,
Oh.
baby, I'm trying to get to work.
Oh.
Or I'm trying to go home. I said no, and I said it nice too. So
Don't
if
trip.
I end up giving you my number and then I ghost you, like, well, what do they be saying? What I believe the person the first. You should have believed me the first time when I said no.
Why you ain't believing me? I told you, but you ain't
You
believing
should
me.
have believed me the first time. Now you got it. Now I'm forcing you to believe me. Second time.
Just in your, because you got to do extra just for them to get the hint, I guess.
You know.
Now, I do agree with you on a lot of points there. And I'm going to go ahead and push the topic because I'm going to bring up some of the points that was mentioned. I'm not going to say if it's a guy or a girl or anything like that, but I do agree because a lot of times these guys, yeah, fuck it. A lot of times these guys or whatever, they do not get the hint. I mean, females too. Like sometimes they don't get the hint either, and we're gonna get into that. But we're gonna talk about the guys right now because females, you need to be held accountable as well. But we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna get to fellas first because that's what I want to do. So with that being said, a lot of times, like you said, people just don't seem to get the hint when you sit there and say, hey, I want to respectfully say, yeah, I'm good, I'm straight, I'm not really looking for nothing, but you still pushing. So with that being said, what about those guys are saying, hey, I don't know the appropriate or way to actually approach a woman then because y'all ask for aggressiveness. But if we be aggressive, we being too aggressive. And I feel like the guys, other guys are not like me because, they're giving me a bad name because when I try to approach a guy, now it's not a guy. When I try to approach a female or whatever, now it's taken out of context. So what's the right amount of, pressure that needs to be added to it? Because, I really don't know because I don't want to be seen as this just like super aggressive person where I just want to get your number. I just want to talk to you. So what do you think?
I think for guys or for anyone, it's really important to remember that women, we are not one in a sense of we don't all think the same. So, I mean, you can't really approach everybody the same, or everybody is not going to like your approach. There are going to be some women who go for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, like, I don't think, like, these men who be doing this type of stuff, they're just not getting no play. Like, they getting play from some type of woman.
Yeah, because it's working somewhere. Obviously, it's working
You
somewhere.
know, even just like in my own experiences, you know, I've seen it happen in my own eyes where I've seen like a dude mac on a girl, and I'm like, she never gonna, you know what I'm saying? She never gonna fall. That what he just said was so lame. Like, I would never be her. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, they happy as hell.
What the hell? Like, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. And at the nerve.
Like, and you're just like, what the heck? So it's one of those things where I think men, or like people in general, have to accept that you're not going to be compatible with everybody. Mm-hmm. So if your approach isn't working on a certain woman, or if your approach isn't working on a certain man, y'all just not here. Because like I said, I've had men holler at me throughout, you know, my time living in the city, and after I became single, there were men who I gave my number to for real, like, on some you cute and you approached me well, and like I be seeing you around campus, so I feel like you might have some type of something going on with yourself, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you that number, because I feel like based on what I've seen, we might be able to kick something off. But if you approach me a certain way, like I just know me personally, like certain ways that a dude would approach me, like just off of that, I know I'm not gonna like you in general. So why I'm even gonna continue this, you know? So I think like you just have to remember that you're not for everybody.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You're not for everybody, and everybody not for you. And I think people, and especially men, because men usually have to be the chasers in these situations, so they have to kind of put themselves out there. Like, you just have to remember, like, if a shorty not going for you, she not going. Like, let it go.
Because your cup of tea might not be for everybody. And I feel like a lot of people say it like that, but let's make another analogy for that right there. If you're going into a candy store and you see a Jolly Rancher over here, and you know you've had Jolly Ranchers before, so you like, okay, I know I can get that, because you know I had experience with that. And you see some candy corn over here. I don't like candy corn. I'm just put that out there. And you have like Laffy Taffy, some Twizzlers, whatever, but you have some other candy over here that you ain't never had. Like, okay, I see you over here, Jolly Ranch. Oh, did I say Jolly Rancher? Jawbreaker.
Yeah,
I say that. Oh, I see you over here, Jawbreaker. I don't know, you're looking pretty good, but I ain't never had you before. So you don't know how the outcome is going to be once you go ahead and eat it, taste it, put it in your mouth or whatever. You might like it, you might not. You might go over there to the candy corn like me and be like, oh my God, I had this before and I know I don't like this shit at all. Okay. But it's all a part of the experience. When you're going into a candy store, trying out different things, some things you ain't gonna like, some things it's not gonna choose you. And other things it's like you may like. But at the end of the day, it's all a part of the process. But as far as women and males and everything else and how that goes, yes, there's a way to approach a person. But if your approach is not taken well to that particular person, maybe that person ain't for you. Period. Just like you said, maybe that person is not for you, because another woman with that same approach will gladly be like, okay, Daddy, what's up? Like, you can't try to force on your own like thought process on somebody else or how they react to a situation. Because if you go to somebody and say, hey, little mama, let's go, like, let me whistle in your ear real quick, let me go, all this other stuff, and she'd be like, okay, I like that. Well, there you go, you have a win. But if you're going to somebody else and say the same little thing or whatever, they may look you up and down like, fool, if you don't get the out my face. Like, it just depends. But it might not be like that. The reaction, I might say it, I might not. I might just be like, no, I'm good, thank you. But if you get that no, I'm good, thank you, believe it.
Yeah, take
Because
it.
they don't want it.
Take it now.
Take it. Take it. Please. Please. Get away from
Take
me.
it now.
I don't want it. I don't know. I don't want you. Like, please stop. Stop.
I hate it here.
I hate it here. Why am I here? But it's just crazy to me because I understand. And a lot of times, when it comes down to it, it's the rejection factor from it. It's like, oh, I don't want to be rejected. But it is kind of like a contradiction in my eyes, because some men say, oh, well, women can't take a rejection. Men can't take rejection either. Because obviously we've seen bad situations happen from rejection, that women will reject men and all of a sudden they're in trouble or they're running for their lives or whatever. And this could be drastic to you, but it has happened in so many different situations and so many cases where it's not even brought to light because they're not believed. And just to go a little bit more further down the line, because it is common and we need to bring it to light. There are rapes that come from it. And this could be men and women. Okay, we're not just going to put this on the men. This is men and women. We have deaths that happen because of rejection. We've had a situation recently, what was it, last year or so, where a woman was walking past a group of guys. This happens often too. A woman was walking past a group of guys and she rejected or said no to a catcalling or something like that, where they hit her upside the head with a skateboard. Or the woman that was thrown in a dumpster. Right? Or just recently,
even that woman, she had got harassed at the gas station.
Right, recently.
Or I think it was the gas station. Yeah.
And she was just trying to go home to her daughter or something like that. And they chased her.
And they were being nice.
Her.
They were being nice, offered to pay for her what she did.
Yeah. And my thing is, it's like, if
nice
she got
guys, don't be so nice.
We're gonna get into it. Okay. Because it's just like all those situations, it was rejection taken not well at all. And at some point we need to stop blaming the woman for, oh, what she had on, what was she wearing, and how was she acting, and all that, and start teaching our young men, our young boys at a young age that shit just ain't cool. We can't just write off the fact that, oh, well, she was drunk, that was her fault. No, the fuck it wasn't. If she's not in her right mind, just like if you were not in your right mind and something happened to you, a rape is a rape, a case is a case, wrong is wrong at the end of the day. I'm just frustrated at the fact that we can't sit our boys down and just tell them not to do bad things, where we sit our girls down and tell us what not to wear or what not to look like. Because if you look like this, then obviously you wanted it. No, the hell I didn't. I can't just be cute. Even if whatever my definition is.
You feel me?
Girl.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's like, what is the better solution? And that was something that this past summer. So just so people know, this past summer I moved back home to go to school because it's cheaper.
Yep, definitely.
And so my parents, they haven't really seen my style since high school, when they were still paying for my clothes. And I was much slimmer.
And now you're thicker.
I'm a little, I don't have the 2 C's, I just got the one THIC, and it's in law lowercase.
Oh, you're irritating. You're irritating.
But it's that, it's coming.
The lowercase thick, but capitalized thick. I got you.
You feel me? It's not the capitalized just yet. We're not on Meg level yet. Okay. But I think I always came from a very quote unquote modest family, especially having a Christian background. And even when I was younger, I always kind of had this style. I just wasn't able to express it because I didn't buy my own clothes. So when I came back home in the summertime and like my parents seeing me go out with my friends, I got on crop tops and mini skirts and, you know, I'm showing skin, they were like truly concerned. And I'm just like, I was really trying to get it in their head. I'm like, look, one, I don't even like to think of that type of negativity when I go out. I feel like I look cute, and that's all I'm really trying to think about. I'm not really trying to think about nobody, you know, perpetrating violence towards me because of quote unquote what I have on. But what I also had to get my parents to understand is that even if something was to happen to me, like it didn't have nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I could go to the gas station with some sweats and a loose t-shirt on, and the same man that will harass me that day is the same man that's gonna harass me, you know, if I'm showing skin. A harasser is a harasser, a rapist is a rapist. They do that. It don't matter what you have on. It don't matter what you're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if you drinking. It don't matter if you at church.
Right.
And we know that. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter where you are. Like, if that's what you do, that's what you do. It don't have nothing to do with me. So that was something too that I had to get even just my parents to understand. Like, these people, like, we have to figure out how to attack that problem. And it don't have, the first thing we need to recognize is it don't have shit to do with me. Because I don't do that.
Right. And you're right, because you could be like you said, your sweatshirt on, mask on, can't even see half your face or whatever. And guess what you do? You go to the grocery store with all of that on. What a guy say, oh, you look fine. You can't see my face, but I can just tell. I'm like, I have on sweat. I don't even show figure right now. I'm like a stick person, my nigga. Like, what are you talking about? No, but I can just tell by your voice. All right. So,
okay.
I mean, but you're right though, because it really doesn't matter what you look like, who you are, or whatever it is. A person is gonna do what they're gonna do regardless. At the end of the day, it's not gonna stop whatever they got in their mind, because whatever they got in their mind, it's gonna happen regardless if it's me or the next person or the next person. So we have to figure out how to get those people off the streets or get those people some help or whatever it is, you know, instead of, and stop blaming the victim, because that's actually what you're doing. You're blaming the victim or future victims. I hate to say it, but shit ain't gonna stop until we get that problem under control, right? So with that being
oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it's crazy how indoctrinated we become with those mindsets too. Because I remember even in undergrad, I was taking a gender women studies class, and of course you have to talk about this topic of domestic violence and violence perpetrated by men towards women. We were watching this one movie with this girl, and she was at a party, and something happened at the party, and her and her friend, they had to get out of there, and she follows these guys that she had just met at the party. She get in the van with them, and you know, something bad ends up happening. And so our teacher was asking us, like, what do we think about it? And back then I'm just like, I was thinking, why she get in that van? Like, she don't know these men, blah, blah, blah. You know, so I'm like, you drunk? Like, I just not even get in the van. She was like, so you're more worried about the woman getting in the van and not going to address that they just shouldn't have done that anyways? Like, she should have been able to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, wow, yeah, that is kind of messed up that I instantly blamed her. I instantly blamed her, like, you should have never gotten that van. You should have knew. And it's just, she was just scared.
Right.
You know, so it's something that even like me, I'm talking about on this podcast, that even I had to check myself as a woman about the things that, you know, kind of I soaked in as I grew up. So it's something that all of us have to address within ourselves.
And honestly, like you said, we all grew up with that type of mindset because that's what we were taught. But once we start unlearning certain
Mm-hmm.
things, we can actually grow from it. We have to start questioning our own
Mm-hmm.
mindset, our own beliefs, and everything else, just like we try to put that on other people to question their beliefs. We have to question our own and make sure that what we believe is actually true, or was it just put on us
Yeah.
because, or whatever, how deep it is or how deep it goes. Like, we just have to make sure that we're right in our stance and not just putting, hey, you need to change what you talking about. No, what about us? Look in the mirror, reflect, and make sure that you good too. But you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because I would have said the same thing at once upon a time, like, oh my God, like, why is she getting in the van with them? Like, stranger danger. Like, what's going on? You know? And not thinking like, hey, why are these men trapping this girl? Like, what was the point of all of that? Why are they actually trying to do harm? Why are they trying to inflict harm
Yeah.
on somebody else? And we have to start thinking in
Mm-hmm.
that sense, even you know how small that is, to actually think like that, and just to switch that,
Yeah.
turn the switch on that. It's kind of like, dang, even something as small as, oh, questioning why she got in the car with them versus why did they take her.
Yeah.
And that goes with anything else. Whew, child, this is gonna be a good little episode. So, a response that came out of this question, it actually it was directed towards the women in the group.
Okay.
And a response to this question was, if you're so scared of someone asking direct questions, and I guess that's more of a fear thing that you have, why do you believe that reflects aggression from me? I'm gonna ask that in a different way, so it better helps explain it to everybody else, because I know when I talk, it could be something totally different. So, why are you afraid of me being direct with you based off of somebody else's aggression, and you automatically deem me being the aggressor? Does that make sense?
Mm.
So that could be
Yeah.
like the guy saying, hey, like, I'm just asking you a direct question, like, hey, I like you, I want you, or whatever. But you also mentioned earlier that I'm flirting with you, or I'm just smiling just so you can get out my face. Why do you got to do all that? Just tell me straight up. Why is it
Mm-hmm.
that you have to go through all these lengths? I'm thinking I'm getting somewhere, and all of a sudden I'm being deemed as aggressive. How would you respond to that person?
Oh, that's a tough one. It's
Yeah.
a tough one. It's so funny because I was just discussing with one of my male friends. I'm like, you guys have a hard job, man. You have a hard job. I am so sorry because I don't know a lot of women who are willing to chase. You
Yeah.
feel me? So it's all on y'all. Y'all got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I don't want to relate it, but I think this is the best way I can really kind of empathize or really see where he's coming from. Because it's the same thing with me, like just as a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes with aggressiveness, like I said, I'm not a very aggressive person, but even sometimes like being in class with a majority of white people and just feeling that you can feel when somebody, I don't want to say they scared of me, but you could tell they kind of walk on eggshells. And it's like, I don't know what other Black people you've experienced, but like I don't know how I'm giving this vibe off to you
Mm-hmm.
to feel this way about me. But in the back of my mind, it's like I do understand that sometimes people have a hard time making things that have occurred with one person just an individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like that has to do with the whole like psychology of the brain in general, which is let me nerd out real quick. Which is something that I had to learn in psychology class. Like our brains don't want us to work that hard. Work harder, not smarter. So like if it look like a duck, if it walk like a duck, if it talk like a duck, our brain, we ready to call it a duck. We ain't trying to call it nothing else. It look like a duck. It talk like it and it walk like it. So It's like if
Even if you like dressed in duck costume and you just going around quack quack, you just gonna call that person a duck.
duck, yeah, I'm be like, oh, I understand that you're still a human, but you're behaving as a duck right now. So that's how my brain want to, my brain just want to generalize that, and our brains generalize things all together throughout the day. And so what we have to remember, I think, just as the people who are being chased, is that we can't group everybody. And that the reason we want to group everybody is a protective mechanism. So our brains, it's like, oh, okay, that hurt. So anytime I see anything else similar to that, I don't want to deal with that, because the last time I did anything that had to do with that, it hurt. So I'm finna generalize that whole thing. So this man, he just scared me, because I told him no, even though he was nice to me. And after I told him no, he still kept like trying to follow me and all that stuff. So now, even if you're nice to me, I don't care if you walk like a man, if you talk like a man, you look like a man, I'm not, and you try to approach me, I'm not dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? And it just has to do with like the psychology of the brain. But obviously everybody not gonna be thinking about that when they trying to holler at you.
Of course. Of course.
So that's something. It's more so like, and I don't want this to turn into something where it sounds like victim blaming, but it's more so kind of on us to understand that. It's just that attempting to understand that can become a dangerous situation.
Right.
So like, you know what I'm saying? I could sit here and try to be understanding, like, oh, he might not be like this last guy, but then it's like, okay, well, what if he is? And so it's a hard thing. I think the only thing you could really tell men or people who do like partake in the chase of like having a partner, is like you it's one of the things, you gotta be patient. Some people not ready.
Right.
That's a red flag right there to me. If I'm approaching you and I know my intentions, and you react like that, I feel like, to me, you're not ready yet. You have some things that you have to heal from and like move on from. So like, that's an indication, I feel, right there, that you need to leave that situation alone. Leave that woman alone. She can't do it right now. You know what I'm saying? She can't do it right now. So leave her alone. And I think like that's the one thing, like, guys, like they don't like that answer. They don't like that answer. They're like, no, but I'm not being aggressive. I feel you, but did you ever think that maybe she's not ready? Regardless of what you're doing, did you ever think that maybe she's not ready?
Right.
Did you ever think that maybe, you might just have to let that situation go? I think like sometimes men don't think that way. It comes back again to everybody not for you, and you're not for everybody. So some women just gonna see you aggressive. It is what it is. Those women not for you right now. Move on.
So let's put a spin on it. So are women not aggressive?
I think that women are aggressive, but it's a difference between being aggressive, I guess. I should clarify that. It's the difference between being aggressive and being like, quote unquote, mean.
Stop right there for a second. Let's just pause. Mean. Let's go ahead and expand a little bit on that one. Just downright. Sometimes you have to be mean with people. I get that, because they're not taking a hint. But you don't have to respond to somebody like, bitch, get the fuck up off me out. You're like just going off like goofy ass nigga. Like, no, stop it. You look, what did that man do? Stop. Because sometimes people, like, sometimes you get that aggression, and I get that from guys where they say like, you're just being way too much. All I said was hi, and all of a sudden you're coming down my throat. So sometimes I get it. Trust me, I get both sides. This is why we're here and we're having this conversation. But if a guy does come up to you respectfully and said, hey, I like you. I want to take you out or whatever. Let me have, can I have your number? What the bam. If they're in a respectful manner, you don't have to bite nobody's head off or chew somebody's head off. Whatever you got going on in your life, you don't have to push that off on somebody else if it's negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because your boyfriend just broke up with you and now you out and you just mad and everything else, you don't got to put that bad vibes and bad energy in the air for somebody else. They ain't did nothing. And sometimes
Yeah.
that is the response that they get. So they're kind of confused as in why is this happening if all I said was hi. Now I understand if you just being too much and you being extra, you're not taking a hint like we spoke about before, right? And then you're like, okay, now I just got to be clearer with you and speak in the language that you understand. I get that. But outside of that, like you don't have to be mean to a person to get their attention. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
a simple no is okay. I know other times it's not. Trust me, I get that. But you just because you like you were saying, like in your brain already, you already have this mentality that if I touch the stove, it was hot last time, I'm not gonna touch the stove again. And approaching this other person, like, okay, well, the last time I talked to a person at this bar, they just not my cup of tea. So I ain't talking to nobody else at this bar because they always gonna be me. You can't have that mindset going in. Honestly, you're gonna have some wins, you're gonna have some losses, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You was talking about the mean and aggressive.
Yeah, I think that's like a big thing. Because I've definitely seen like even some of my own friends be approached, not even in a crazy way by a man. And they was just rude as hell.
Ugh,
And it's like I know this person, so I know where this rudeness is coming from,
but he
but this
don't.
man don't, he
Mhm.
don't know. He be like, dang, like I just wanted to give you a compliment. But it's like I said, it's one of those things where it's not very it's not a black and white thing. And I think that these men, like, it's okay for them to ask these questions of women. Like, I think some women would even get offended that men would even ask these type of questions. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mhm.
like, I think these are very, very valid questions to ask. I just don't have a lot of clear answers.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be ever a clear answer for these type of questions because it is based off an opinion and we're
Mhm.
giving ours. But I know there are people out there that just will get offended by this. Like, why would you even ask that? You know that it's different safety measures that we have to take. And yes, that is true. We have different safety measures that we have to take. Sometimes that if you start off a conversation too soon about sex,
Mhm.
why the hell are we talking about sex 5 minutes into you getting my number?
You
Okay.
know?
That's a fucking turn off. I'm sorry about cursing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not. That's a turn off. That is really a turn off. Like, don't have sex conversations. And
Yeah.
even then, like, let's take accountability now. If he does lead on to a sex conversation and you entertain that, you're just as guilty.
Yep.
Sorry. I might be
And
hurting some feelings right now, but
I was just gonna say that I think that's an important thing to address as well. Like it's like I said, like a lot of these men don't just be out here delusional. Some, yes,
yeah,
but not everybody.
right.
Like so that means that some women is out here capping.
And on top of that, some of them are actually initiating the sex first, especially if they
Mhm.
feel like the guy is not initiating. Okay, yep, let's talk about that because I've I've heard it. I've heard it several times before. If the guy does not initiate sex, they automatically think they're not into women.
Mhm.
Why
I've
can't
heard
he
it. Yeah.
just be respectful of you? And he has his own boundaries. Maybe he's respecting your boundaries if you have any. You're showing that you don't. Now all of a sudden, like, oh, I don't think he's attracted to me because of that. No, that may not be the case.
Mhm.
Maybe he wants to get to know you for, I don't know, your mind. I don't know.
Mhm.
Maybe maybe it's
Your
something more.
personality.
Your personality. I mean, maybe he actually wants something more because in
Yeah.
the same token, this same type of person, I'm not saying all, but this same individual will turn around and say, "Oh well, he was asking for sex too soon, and I don't appreciate that. I don't like that because you're sexualizing me." well, bitch, which one is it?
Yeah.
And
Because at least he being upfront.
But it also goes to like if that person likes the other individual too.
Yep. Ooh.
Because if I had got approached by a particular person, right? And I was already crushing on that person or whatever. I'm not saying this is my situation, but using that as an example. And this guy slid in my DMs like, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear real quick. Let me go ahead and whoop. I'm gonna be like, okay, Zaddy, okay, hey, how you doing? Because I already
I was peeping you 2 days ago.
I was seeing it, but it's cool, it's whatever, I'm just here. Like, and we do that sometimes, right? But we automatically jump because he fine, so he must be. Ooh. But if it's somebody, let's just say average or whatever, you didn't have your eye on him or anything like that, or he might not be up to your liking or whatever it may be. He might not even be ugly or whatever. He just might not be the type that you're used to, right?
Yeah.
And he approaches you in the same exact manner, right? Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear real quick, like, ooh, I think. Oh no. You are disrespectful. You should have came to me like a lady because that's what I am. It's like, dang, like I'm gonna need you to pick a battle right now.
Bro.
Because
I think it was Issa Rae who said it best. She was like, it's not a harassment unless she ugly. I'm like, that's so messed up, but it's kind of true.
But that's how we think. That's how we think. And guys think the same way. Because if she ain't cute or if she don't have, let's say, a fat ass, if she doesn't have any assets, because guys are very visual creatures, right? If they don't got something that they working with, if they don't have the pretty face, what the fuck? Get out my inbox, whatever. But I mean, shoot, some of them are some hoes. Some of the women are some hoes too. Let's just say, all right, I'm trying to fuck anyway, but it is what it is.
Yeah. It also comes back to bringing it back, compatibility. Ooh. And everybody not for everybody because me as a woman sometimes like, yes, start that sex conversation off if you want to. Thank you. Because now I know I can just tell you straight up, that I wasn't trying to do that.
No.
But for me personally right now, like in real life, I'd be wanting them men to talk about if they try to be in a relationship or not, because I'm not trying to be in one.
Yeah.
And so, that sometimes for a lot of men, that'd be the first thing they try to do to hook you on. Like, I'm gonna make you my wife, all them sweet nothings.
Denied. Okay.
Maybe I don't care about that. I don't care. I'm not interested in that right now. But thank you for like being honest with your intentions with me early on. So now we could just date it. We could just date that right now. That was easy,
But at the same time, like if you talking to Janelle and you say that thinking that you're gonna get her, you not. You just blew your whole chance.
But you know what? It come again to who you are.
Exactly. But
the fine black man might just
look. Okay. But that's the thing too. If you starting off with a lie, you're fucking up. Just be honest. That's all it is. Because honestly, let's be real. If you have a certain type of person that you want to be with, if you're coming into the relationship, guy or girl, right? And you're saying, hey, I don't want to be in a relationship. I just want to fool around a little bit and I'll be cool. Like until I get to that place. There is another person like that in this world, in your vicinity as well, that wants the same thing. Don't come off saying, oh, I want to be in a relationship with you. You gonna be my girl. I'm gonna wife you up. What the don't do all that. Like we too grown for all the lies, the manipulation, and everything else. Say what you got to say, put it on your mind, and keep it pushing. I know there is gonna be some backlash because there's gonna be some people that are saying, oh, well, that's what I told him. That's what I told her. And now they think that they're gonna change my mind. No, sweetheart, whoever you are, you're not gonna change that person's mind unless they want it to be changed.
Yeah.
If that person is not for you, it's not going to be for you. Yeah. And even if y'all try to work that out and one person is not satisfied, y'all not going to be happy. The both of y'all at least, because somebody going to be doing something they don't got no business doing, regardless if it's cheating, regardless if it's because cheating ain't the only thing now. Okay, we're going to get into that later. But regardless if it's like anything else, not spending enough time at the house or whatever, it could be a bunch of things, But at the end of the day, that person's not going to be satisfied. That means you're not going to be satisfied. And you're just pushing a dead horse down the road at this point because it ain't going to be working. It ain't going to be useful at all. So,
yeah. If it don't apply, if it don't apply, gotta just let it fly. Like I think that's the number one thing. Like a lot of people have to really just get in their head when it comes to rejection. If it do not apply, let it fly. Like you'll see it on Twitter all the time. Like a man or somebody would be like, "I like my woman, yada yada yada," and then you'll see Audie's on Audie like, "Wow, so blah 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 blah." Like, girl, if he's not describing you, why do you care? He just literally said in this little post that he don't even fuck with you anyways. Oh. So he don't care about what you have to say.
Well,
you know what I'm saying about his little type. You don't apply. It don't apply to you. So let it fly. Let it fly. Because that's the sense. I feel like a lot of those women who be angry under those posts, they are bad at handling rejection as well. Because it technically is rejection. You're telling me like you will reject me because I don't follow these qualities. You don't even know this man from a can of paint.
Right.
And you mad at that. You don't even know this man. This is social media and y'all getting on him.
You so riled up, your emotions all out of whack. You can never let somebody take you out of your character where your emotions are affected. That's when they got your ass. And that's when you can't do that. You can't do that at all because that's when they win at the end of the day. Yeah. Why are you putting so much emphasis on something? Right. Why are you putting so much emphasis on something that really doesn't matter? Like, I understand if it's a disrespectful thing and you have to speak up and say something about it. But if it's not disrespectful, it is quote unquote a preference of a person. Not saying, oh, I like them yellow bone, green eyed. We ain't talking about that. All right. We ain't gonna get into it because that's another topic.
Ooh, that's a deep topic.
Yes, we can't be like, oh, I love the chocolate girls. Please.
Yeah.
Stop it. And let me just throw this out here real quick. If you ain't black and you talking about you just trying to get to the black women and doing all this other stuff, oh, I love a chocolate bar and all this other bullshit. Stop that shit right now, please. Stop pandering to these women. Please. I just have to say my piece. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Right. But you did talk about entitlement. You did talk about the good guy persona, right? So let's go ahead and get into that really fast, right? The good guy versus the other guy. So when I say this is let's just say a comment that was made, shall we? Because I wrote it down. As a good guy with good intentions and not a harasser of women, when I get a number from a woman, I am no longer understood if it is an actual sign of interest because other guys of ill intent have caused women to send false signals. So now the good guy will never know what is really intended. So that was the comment, I guess. So just to wrap that back up. He's saying that because he sees himself as a good guy, he does not technically get a good response from women because of all the other guys that kind of did her wrong or something like that. So what can he do as a good guy to like get in those good graces, I guess. That's how I'm interpreting it.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted it.
Okay, that's how we're interpreting. You could interpret it some other way, but that's how we're doing it. So. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
Man, I hate the terms good guy, real man, all those terms. They always just make me cringe because what is a good guy?
That was my question.
What is a good guy? I've met men who they have a job, they got their own place, they got some type of degree or a certificate, all that stuff, and they just swear up and down like they're a good guy. Women don't like them because they're a good guy. And it's even been like maybe one or two guys. I was like, well, you say you're a good guy and women aren't appreciating you. I'm an appreciative woman. So let's try this out. Let's try this out. And you talk to them and you just like, dude, women not rejecting you because you a good guy.
Can I say it? Can I say it? Can I
Yes,
say
say
it? 'Cause I think I know. Okay.
Say it.
So let me hold on. Here you go. Here you go. Maybe I'm gonna lose some followers on this one, right? Maybe you just lame as fuck. Maybe that's the thing. Like maybe just because you have all these accolades, oh, I got a job. Okay, and the next nigga got a job. Oh, I got a car. Okay, the next nigga might not have it, but they got the bus and they can get to where they need to go. Okay, well, I have this house. Okay, I got a place on roof over my head. So what's up? Like, what's setting you apart other than your income?
Yeah.
Where is the substance to make you a good guy? Or are you just going based off of, okay, here's the list. I have a 6-figure income. I have a car. I live by myself. I have no kids. Okay, that's great and all, but what do you bring to the table outside of that? Like, where's the substance? Because you see these people that get in relationships with others and they don't have all of that, but they still found something within themselves that they love and they appreciate. And you looking at this guy like, he doesn't have half the stuff I have. Or this woman that comes in, well, I have a degree. I have a house for myself. I got a car. I got a job. I got all this. Why isn't this man looking at my direction? Because I got everything that you could ever wish for. I can cook. I can clean. I can do all this. But if your attitude fucked up, sweetheart, ain't no man want to cook you. Like, ain't no man want to look at your ass. Like, yeah, you could be cute, you could be average, you could be, have a fat ass or whatever. But if your ass don't have no type of substance, ma'am, sir, don't nobody want your ass. I'm sorry. Like, they will put up with that person who has a job at Taco Bell or whatever because they got some type of love for that person. They'll put up with somebody that rides the bus or Ubers for a living or whatever it is because of that substance that they bring to the table. But just because you got a 6-figure income don't mean, oh, you gonna get in my panties. It don't mean shit. It don't. Because what else do you have after that?
Don't mean nothing to me when I could just call my daddy for anything.
Exactly. Okay, especially if we ain't married. My daddy got it, don't trip. My uncle got it, my cousin, my brothers. Like, I have plenty of men in my life that's doing a lot. Okay, great things.
Man.
So
Man. I think
if you're the prototype, I don't want it.
Yeah. And I think another thing too that those guys who feel that way have to understand is that sometimes like the bad guys don't even be bad. They just be very direct. And I think like women really hold on to that. Like, and I was trying to explain this. I'm trying to explain this without it sounding kind of messed up.
No, let it sound messed up, please.
Sometimes, and this is something that I even realized about myself, because sometimes I do have a hard time like cultivating deep relationships with people, like whether it's friends or romantically. And if you really ask most people who know me, like, oh, say one thing that describes Janelle, they'll say, oh, she's nice. She's nice. And if we looking up the definition of nice, being agreeable, what I had to realize is that a lot of the time, due to other things that me and my therapist gonna figure out, I am putting on a facade. You know what I'm saying? That shows me as quote unquote nice or agreeable. And so what I found is that I can't build deep relationships with people because they don't know me. And like after a while, like some people are really quick in realizing like if you kind of put on a facade, and like for some people it'll take a while, but I think for a lot of women, when we do see nice guys, we do feel like, what is really to you? Like, I feel you, you know what I'm saying? Like everything's going well, but like this can't, like you can't just always be put together. You know what I'm saying? Or like you can't just always be like this. Like I need something else. What you know?
But let me tell you, because you just, oh, girl, because I just got done watching this episode, the whole season of Married at First Sight, right? Of season 11. And girl, like I was sitting there thinking, like, dang, this sound like that relationship of that. Okay, I forget their names, but it does sound like this relationship with one of the Black couples, not the one that I fell in love with. I'm just, oh my God, they're so beautiful. I love them. You know, they fell in love and they said, I love you. Not that one, the other one, right? Where he was younger than her, but they still made it through. And I'm just like, yes, Black love. Love y'all. That was her main thing. Because when she met him, she was like, okay, he's nice. But that's all he kept on showing her, the niceness. And she was scared because it was like, dude, what else you got? I need to see your mean streak. I need to see something else. I need to know that this is a real person, because if it is the real thing, okay, cool. I'm okay with that. But I don't want to be surprised at one point where it's just like, oh, and all of a sudden you just big bad wolf and it changes. So I get that, because that was her main struggle. And that's what she kept saying. Like, I can't be myself around you, and I can't let my guard down until I know that I'm getting everything from you. Until you're more direct and say, hey, I don't want you just to be agreeable, like you said. I don't want you just to be nice. And if something happens, oh, baby, we'll fix it. All right. Are you mad? No.
Yeah, like if you mad, say you mad.
Right. But actually express that, you know? And if you're not, that's cool. But if it's gonna keep being this, okay, well, it's cool, it's cool. No, let me know that you actually mean that. If it's something that you don't like going on, express that. Don't push it off to the side, and then one day you're just gonna blow up, and then all of a sudden it's an issue. And she didn't come around until that happened.
You know, and I think that was something that even with my ex, I feel like that's why I was able to like allow that relationship to flourish, because I feel like he was always very direct with me. And like I just knew like what it was, and it felt very genuine, you know. And you can really feel vibes from somebody. Like you can feel when a dude is telling you sweet nothings, and when he really about that business, and like that's what he trying to do, you know. So definitely like nice. I would say for all the nice guys out there that feel like, oh, all these women are going for the bad guys, all these women are going for the guys that treat them badly. Like I've even heard dudes say women like bad guys, like women like guys who treat them badly. And I'm just like, no.
Some women like that. Some, but not all.
You know,
some are just toxic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, it could be a thing where that's what she's attracting right now, or that's what she is attracted to. But I was even trying to explain it in a sense of sometimes, you know, yeah, it's kind of like I said, sometimes with that nice guy persona, it's just like I've heard a lot of my friends who were in abusive relationships clearly state he was very nice before all this stuff happened.
Because that's how they get you.
Yeah, he was very nice. Yeah, nice means agree. He was put on the facade.
Right.
So like sometimes it's easier to deal with the quote unquote bad guy because it's like
right there in your face.
Now I can judge like, okay, am I willing to deal with this amount of whatever, you know, he's doing? Like, okay, this is how he is when he's angry. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I willing to deal with this or am I not? But if I don't never ever see you be angry, like I'm gonna be a little like, dang, I wonder how it's gonna be when he actually get angry.
Like, what's going on?
Like, actually, never mind. I ain't even gonna deal with him. I'd rather just deal with this dude who he's showing his true colors, like
off the gate.
And I can trust it too, because sometimes you can trust people's negative colors a little more, because those are usually the colors that people don't want to show. So like I think that's another thing too. It's like I know what I'm getting with this
Right.
person, like whether he's a bad guy or not. Oh, he don't have a job. Well, at least he not pretending like he do. I know he don't got no job. I've
He no
accepted that.
Tommy
I'm
ass
cool.
nigga. Right. He def like
You know what
Tommy
I'm
ain't
saying?
had
I'm
no job.
cool. That's another thing men need to realize sometimes. Some women be cool with certain stuff. Some
Yeah.
women be cool with you not doing nothing all day. Like,
Yeah. I'm not gonna be cool. I ain't that
you
person.
know, it's not me.
It ain't me. You need a job. Fuck out of here.
But
Working for
even
something.
like in my life, like I've seen like friends or acquaintances like really messing with dudes who, or really rocking with dudes who don't got shit to their name.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't care because they feel like that dude still finds a way to make them feel special.
Mm-hmm.
That dude listen, you know what I'm saying? So when dudes start saying like I'm a good guy, and I say, okay, well, what makes you a good guy? And they start saying, well, I got my own, but
And
I'm cool. I'm
and
cool. I already know you're not a good guy because you didn't even describe a good guy. You just described what you had.
it's
I'm looking
entitlement.
to describe your character.
It's entitlement at the end of the
It
day.
is entitlement.
Just
Doesn't it
because you
always
have
come
all of
back
this.
to entitlement?
Hey, look, that's what it is at the end of the day, because you feel like because you have all of this and you listed it out and everything that's like something that can be taken away from you. What is something that cannot be taken away from you? Where's
And you
your
know what, too?
character?
Society supports that mindset for
Yeah,
men.
of course. Of course. It's always something negative society supports. Like
Yeah.
you have a couple sprinkles like, oh yes, power, like girl power,
Mhm.
all this other stuff, like be great, go succeed and all that. But the more that you see, especially in the media and the news, and everywhere else you turn your head, it's or music at that is always like this toxic behavior.
Yeah.
Even in the news, like you see more, especially Chicago news. My God,
Mhm.
all you see is this shooting this one stole this, and this. Like, I went to Nebraska, turned on the news, and I was like, wow, ain't nobody got shot this weekend. That's sad. I know I'm laughing. I know we laughing. But
You
that's
just
so
get so used to
sad.
it.
Yes. And when you get out of this toxic environment, when I tell you my eyes was open, like, wow, nobody got shot, nobody got stabbed. And even though, like, I know people say, oh, Chirac, don't say that shit. When
Mhm.
people try to put us in a box, they are only highlighting certain parts of the city and they're making it bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
Just like any other city. So please don't talk about our city or we gonna come get you. Anyway, that's not a violent threat unless you want it to be.
Mhm.
Sorry for anybody that's listening. Cops, I was just playing. So, but outside of that, like this entitlement thing is gonna like eat at a lot of people because just because you have this, you have that, you have that, that's great. And if you find somebody that loves you for that, that's beautiful. But some people want more than that. Some people want more substance. Some people want more than, okay, I can cook. Okay, that's great. Okay, I can take care of the kids. Okay, that's great. Like it's so much more when it comes to your character. Make sure your character is in place before you step to somebody anyway. That's my opinion, but you can argue with your mama all you want because you're gonna be arguing at the radio at this point or your phone
You
because
know.
I ain't gonna be talking back. Let's be
You
real.
know. But yeah,
I ain't
I
gonna talk
think
back.
that's something that the nice guy has to understand. Like, well, first let's take a look at you and your intentions and your heart and how you're really presenting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Just,
then let's take a look at what are women really liking, and like why are you only paying attention to a certain type of woman? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I have plenty of female friends that are dating or messing with very good guys, like personality on point. You know what I'm saying? You talk to him, he look good, he sound good, your friend happy. You know what I'm saying? So this whole thing that women don't like good good guys, quote unquote, just gotta be dead. Maybe women don't like you.
but where are they getting that idea from? That's the question. Because if you really think about it, and if we take accountability as women too, when it comes to this, and we set our standards way too fucking low.
Yep.
And when we just accept, a lot of us, especially this day and age, it might not be all of us, but a lot of us set this standard where, okay, well, at least he ain't cheat. What? Yo, what? No, I hate that so much with a passion, because why are you making that the standard?
Yeah.
Now, I was listening to Pastor Michael Todd. I ain't gonna lie. And I love it. And it was this one analogy that he made about standards in one of his sermons, right? And he was talking about how anybody can play on the little rim, the hoop, the little the one for toddlers or whatever. What is it called? Play school? Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. So anybody can come and start dunking on it, woo out the damn, just coming out, behind the back, twisting, turning, 360, all this other stuff. Like, because that's like the bare minimum, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas when you in high school, yes, they got the set standard or whatever, you hidden. Only a couple people can get there. Some people can make the shot, you might be lucky. But mm-hmm. when you get to the NBA, right, and they have the standard, mm-hmm. you think shooting from the free throw line is going to get everybody can't make that. That's the first thing. So it's only a small sliver of people that actually made it that far. Yeah. But even then, that is the standard that you have to start at. Yeah. Just to qualify for this job, you have to start at the standard, but you have to be above and beyond. Kobe, he went above the standard. That's why he's named the GOAT. If y'all disagree with that term, I don't care. Like, that's why he is a GOAT in NBA mm-hmm. history. One of the, I'll say that just to be one of the, because he excelled beyond the standard. Yeah. Just like Jordan, he excelled beyond the standard. Shaq and everybody else, Iverson, everybody else, right? Yep. Because they weren't just shooting free throws. Or Curry wasn't just shooting free throws like, exactly. Oh yeah, that's what we have to meet. So we have to look at our relationships like that. You can't just go in saying, oh, well, he meets the standards because he didn't cheat on me today. Mm-hmm. He came home.
Not today.
He came home today. So, that's a plus. No, that should be like, okay, you should not be doing this anyway. Yeah. So let's go a little bit higher. What makes you different from everybody else that met the standard? Mm-hmm.
Because I think also even to your basketball analogy, and I've heard this from a couple of people. I don't really watch basketball like that, but I've heard this debate a lot. Mm-hmm. And sometimes the debate comes to, do players nowadays, mm-hmm. like, is it harder for them to be great than it was like back in Michael Jordan days? So sometimes people feel like you can't even really compare Jordan to like LeBron or other great players of today, because what was required of Jordan to be great back then, when basketball was kind of new, is that's baby stuff now. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's baby stuff now. Now you got to do more stuff. So it's the same thing. Back when my mama or my grandma, you know what I'm saying? Not really my mom. When my mama was coming up, that's when women was allowed to go to school and get educated, and that wasn't looked down upon. Like, women was really getting their education on and their job on, But when my grandma was coming up, and even when her mom was coming up, like, women wasn't owning stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that is the standard. You need to have a house and a car to talk to me, or else I'm not gonna have shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the standard no more. That's baby stuff. Because today's woman, we have that already. So I think another thing that men need to do is realize that maybe the stuff your daddy and your grandpa taught you, you can't listen to that no more, because that applied to the women that they was getting. That don't apply to you no more. No, those standards is different. Women have cars, have their own stuff in their own name. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize you got to bring something different. Like, and you have to realize society is taking a while to like change, we're in the process of changing, and men finally realizing like, oh, I need more than just like things to bring forward, but it's not there yet. But it's up to those men to make that change and realize like, I'm different. I'm dealing with a millennial woman right now. I'm dealing with a modern woman right now. She has different standards. And women, we have to stand on our shit.
You know who?
Cause back in the day, these women wasn't not standing on their shit. It was a survival thing. They couldn't afford to not stand on their standards. No, you need money. We need money. If
We
you don't
need
have
money.
I'm not fucking with you. I'm not messing with you. Like for me personally, as a modern woman today, I need you to be emotionally available. Like
Ooh.
if you are not emotionally available, I can't. That's the standard. That's the standard right
Yes.
there.
Seeking
Like
some
once
type
I
of
find
help.
out, yeah, once I find out you can't do that, it's kind of gonna go downhill.
Oh, okay. We getting somewhere, and it's gonna be a long conversation, y'all, because we went past this. Look, this is one more topic. This is one more topic because we gotta cut it at some point. Otherwise, it's gonna be a 2-hour episode. This is gonna rub some feathers. Right? Because it's going based off of what you just said, the modern woman and how standards have changed. And, at some point, women really needed a stable income and stable home because they couldn't own. They couldn't own I think somebody said, okay, I have to fact check this. Y'all can fact check this if you want to, but I feel like it was the 70s. I think somebody had said something about 1970s was when women could actually like hold their own bank account, like actually have their own bank account or something like that. Because America is backwards as fuck, so I kind of believed it, but I would have to fact check that. All right, and even if it ain't right, you believed it when I said it.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna say it sound about right to me.
It sound about right because a lot of stuff that y'all doing right now sounding about wrong anyway. But with that being said, where am I going with this? All right, I know where I'm going with this. So, modern woman versus traditional woman. You can't be a modern, quote unquote, 100% modern woman and expect traditional roles. I done ruffled the feathers. Woo! I already know it. Look, you cannot expect this man to pay for your bills, to pay for all of your everything. Let's just say everything, your car payment, your note, your apartment, everything else. And this man paying for his own stuff. Y'all ain't even living together. Y'all not married, nothing, right? And you talking about I'm independent. You can be independent all you want. I'm strong and all this other stuff. And you don't cook, you don't clean, you don't do no housely duties as a traditional woman because you a modern woman, but you expecting that man to be a traditional man.
Yeah. Ooh.
I'm sorry, it didn't rub you the wrong way. Well, it should. And that's the same way with the man. You cannot be a modern man expecting a traditional housewife. Just like you cannot be a modern man or a traditional man expecting a modern woman. It's the same thing. So if you are going to have these standards, if you are going to sit yourself out there and be like, you know what? I do want some help with these bills. Half.
Yeah.
Consider half. Or even then, like you paying for your apartment complex right now, your car note and everything else by yourself. And now you expect your boyfriend who got his own stuff to pay for all of your bills too? And you ain't doing nothing? You ain't going, look, you ain't helping him out, going washing his clothes, I ain't washing no nigga drawers. But if you're doing all this other stuff and you just expect somebody just to cater to you just because you're a woman, you are sadly mistaken. Yeah. Because it don't work like that. It's a double standard. If you're going to be a traditional woman, be that traditional woman. Now, if y'all agree on terms where I can do this, you can do that, I can do that, whatever works, whatever floats your boat, that's cool. But don't go into a relationship, woman, because I'm calling y'all out because we need to take accountability for this. Yeah, do not go into a situation expecting this man to pay for your whole livelihood and you don't return anything and you have nothing else to return. No favor whatsoever.
Oh, I think another thing too, just still speaking about like the good guy and like how a lot of good guy or real man or whatever you want to call it. When they bring up like I got my own stuff and I could pay for your stuff too. I've had men be like, my credit score probably better than your like
What?
yes. Like but I deal with a variety of men, it's not all men. But one thing that I was taught too growing up, and I think that's why me personally as a woman, I don't really hold you having things very close or near or dear to my heart, because my mom always taught us to have our own stuff simply because a man paying for all your stuff and like doing all these things for you, or just even doing stuff for you, like even like when I was younger, like my mom would be like, don't try not to accept big gifts from men, because she always put in our head that can be controlling.
I've heard that too.
And so like for me, like I'll pay for a date, no problem. I don't care. Or we could go Dutch. But like,
why do you just go so drastic like that and try to brush over it? Talk about some, I'll pay for it, or we go Dutch, just whatever. It like we ain't paying for shit.
we go Dutch, but I even like this past summer, it was this dude. He was taking me out. I'm telling you, every week, at least once a week, and paying for the whole date. And I was just so uncomfortable with it. Because I'm just like, I don't know what you're expecting. Like, are you going to ask me something eventually that I'm not going to want to do? And then something might happen, you know what I'm saying? So it was like one day I was just like, hey, I can pay for myself, and or I can pay for the whole, like, you don't have to pay every time. You don't have to do that, because I'm just like, why does this man want to, do so? And sometimes it comes to that too. Like, you over here presenting yourself as somebody who got all this money. You present yourself like that to a girl like me, that's a red flag to me. To me, that means you're going to try to control me. And as Janelle, and also as a Sagittarius, I don't like that.
We both are. And
I don't want to feel suffocated, controlled.
No.
I need freedom.
Fly away.
Like a bird. I need freedom. And I need to feel like I'm not like, I don't, because sometimes like some of those men, they feel like you owe them.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, the sense of entitlement, those men who they'll take you out on a date and then expect that you do whatever they want you to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they took you out, they did something you wanted them to do. So now they feel like you should do something. First of all, those type of men, I know it's going to be hard for y'all to hear, but don't nobody owe you shit. It was your decision to take me out.
Tell them.
On that date, you probably should have got to know me a little bit first, and maybe you would have knew
that you wasn't shit.
Maybe you would have knew that I didn't want to give this to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing, men and women. Are y'all getting to know each other? You know what I'm saying? Are we getting to know each other? Are we really taking out that time? Like, I don't mind if a man approaches me and he want to get to know me, but he don't necessarily want to take me out to like London House yet, or God, you know what I'm saying? Those are expensive restaurants in Chicago. And like, if you don't really know me yet, I can understand feeling like I don't really want to spend all this money on you yet. Like, let's, if it's the summertime, let's go to the beach. I don't want to go to the beach. You want to talk at the beach? We can do that.
You gotta realize that too. Like, it doesn't have to be an expensive date. We can go on a walk to the park. We don't have to eat every time. I like eating, but we don't have to eat it all the time. Like, especially at an expensive restaurant, you don't always have to spend a lot of money on a date. You can find other things to do. Like, it's literally so many things outside of Netflix and chill.
Yes.
Outside, I had to put that out.
There.
Y'all, the first thing, Netflix and chill? No, like no.
Because I know what that means.
Right. Outside of that, like, you could literally do so much, like the Shed Aquarium. That
Mm-hmm.
what don't it? It's like free. They have free days and everything else. You can
Yeah.
go and walk a museum or
Mhm.
something like that, or go to Lakeshore Drive, like sit in
Yeah.
traffic.
For real though, for real, and like depend on the type of girl, you know, because
Yeah,
every woman not gonna like that. Some women that's they love language is
but
having lots of money spent on them, but
or just having quality time. Because if that girl gonna like you, she gonna want to go to the store with you. She gonna just ride in the car with you, just look upside your bald head. Like it's like you don't have to try hard for somebody that actually like messes with you anyway. Oh gosh,
especially women,
yeah.
especially like we said, like women, our standards sometimes kind of be low. You know what I'm saying? So for men, sometimes it's really not that you have to do a lot. It's that you're not doing what I want.
And listen, listen to her. And women, listen to him as well, because some of y'all can't even buy birthday gifts yet. Anyway, let's stop. Because y'all still talking about getting on Facebook. What should I buy my man? Talking about let's go to Walmart and get some Dove products. Stop with all the Dove products. You telling that man he musty, trying to get some deodorant? Quit.
You bought this
Okay.
man a toolkit.
Right. 3 t-shirts, 3 white t-shirts. Please. You are grown. You are 32 years old talking about, so what should I get my man? But he's supposed to know everything about you. You know what? Let's stop. All right, because this is going too far. All right, y'all. Because we can talk about this topic apparently, because we've been going for a minute. And if I don't stop it now, girl, we're gonna make part 2. And
Man.
y'all might
And I think that goes to show that this topic, like, it's so deep. You know what I'm saying? It's not as simple as just like domestic violence or rejection. Like it's so many things that goes into it anytime you're dealing with anything that has to do with people.
Yes.
Because we're so intricate and like everybody has their own little unique things that they like or they don't like, past experiences that make them react one way or another way. And so, and even like you said at the beginning of the podcast, like even just like making it normal to address domestic violence and getting people out of the viewpoint of when they see the words domestic violence, they instantly picture a man, you know, being violent towards a woman. Like even starting there,
yes,
and realizing that, like it's just so much that goes into it. And like I think even just us having this discussion today, and when people listen to it, I hope like it really helped, because I was thinking about these questions hard. So I hope everybody else thinks about it too, and comes at it with the with an open mind,
right,
and really understanding that your past can have an effect on how you view the conversation. And like, just remembering to like forgive yourself, and remembering that it's okay to unlearn or relearn things, and it's okay to admit that maybe you have perpetrated certain things or supported certain things as well. You need to address that so then you can change it. So girl, because we didn't talk about so much stuff, but it's still connected to the topic. So that's my take.
Sure. Because we definitely reasons for not giving up the number. Inappropriate sex conversations, safety measures, just not that into you.
Yep.
Men don't understand the word no, or women don't understand the word no. A sense of entitlement, simple disregard of boundaries. Is that summing it all up for that question? Yeah. Well, and the guy versus bad guy, I guess that goes, other guy that goes with that entitlement too. So, wow, we went over a lot. And honestly, we could keep talking about this if we really could. We really could keep talking about this.
Yep.
We going on almost an hour and a half or so. Just talk. Oh, child.
Man,
y'all better like this episode, because don't. I'm sorry for you. I hope y'all said like thank y'all for everybody that just sat through all of this, because we definitely shoot. If you got this far, we had you hooked.
Yeah.
from the beginning. Okay. And that's okay. Like, yo, this was great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Janelle, for bringing this conversation to light, coming on the podcast, just to talk about a couple things with me, even though we got far off, talked a lot about stuff, touched a lot
Mm-hmm.
of different topics, called a lot of people out and everything else like we're
Mm.
supposed to. And that's what this is what this is for. Talking about taboo topics, putting everything on the forefront. We're not shying away from anything. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. And thank you for inviting me. I hope like even like when we post this and stuff, any of my friends who maybe didn't know about the podcast and will now know about it,
Yes.
to me, that like y'all don't just listen to this episode. Like I said at the beginning, I have to catch up a little bit, but I have not heard an episode miss yet. Like all the episodes have been good. I even been listening to them with my friends. Like, hey, listen to this real
Come
quick
on now.
because she was talking her stuff, and the hosts that you bring on, like, they're amazing. Like they really contribute a lot to the conversations. Like I remember I was listening to I think it was the media
Yeah.
episode, and I was like, let me just go ahead and support this girl. I don't think I'm gonna be that interested in it now. Let me tell you, because y'all was talking y'all stuff.
Good.
Okay.
See, you was judging the book by its cover, but
You
good.
know, y'all was talking y'all stuff. So I'm like, yeah, if for anybody who's listening, like, great podcast, great person. Me and Tia, we've been knowing each other for high school, which surprisingly is a long time ago now.
It's
It's been 10 years since I was 16. And that was sophomore year, so probably like 11 years since I was a freshman in high school. Yeah.
Was it longer than that? Or was it?
Maybe because when we started, like
junior
we
year,
started
that was
at what?
16. We started at 14.
You know what? You're right. We was up, but we was already 16 when junior year began.
Yeah, that is
Because were you born in 95 or 94?
94. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was right after you.
Yeah, I remember being 16 when I was a sophomore, but it was like the end of
because that was
sophomore
beginning.
year.
Yeah, beginning of junior year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is
so
true. But we came in.
I think maybe at 14.
Yeah.
And then I turned 15.
14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18. Yeah.
Yep. So since 14 years old. Oh man.
That made me even older. What the hell? How old are you?
Man, 26 in this mug.
I can't even do that math no more. Sala gonna be so mad at me. Oh my God. Don't listen to this part. I'm sorry, Sala. I am so sorry. Mr. Gary, all of y'all.
Man, it's been a long time. And it's definitely beautiful seeing you grow. And seeing you flourish. This podcast is nothing that I would not have expected from you, and even just the organization of it all. For anybody who might want to ask her, to be a host or something, great organization, very organized. So I definitely appreciated being here to talk about this subject. I knew it was going to be touchy, but I think you facilitated it so well. So yeah, I'm just grateful just to be here, I'm grateful and I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see this go to the top. It's time.
Oh no, you're not about to start. Janelle, you just made me my heart tugging at my heartstrings.
Man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
I appreciate you. All right, y'all, we're gonna get up out of here. Tune in next week if you're still there. Hopefully you didn't I didn't lose you with this conversation, but if I did, you wasn't meant to be here anyway. Just come back when y'all feelings ain't hurt, and just listen to it again and you'll be okay. Just heal. Therapy is the answer. If you can't get therapy, talk to somebody, but don't put all your emotions on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, don't put all your BS on somebody else because you're gonna mess them up too with some trauma. We don't want to do that, but call me. Maybe we can have a podcast session or something and we can just put your business out there. I don't know.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. Tune in next week and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.
Be sure to download